Hi, I'm Den, and in this video I'm going to show you how to balance the Nikon D800 with a Samyang 14mm fisheye on the Steadicam Merlin 2. Now, like most DSLRs, the centre of gravity is offset largely because of the extra handle where the battery grip is. And the Nikon D800 is higher by almost 2 centimetres than the Canon 5D Mark II, all of which have a bearing on the centre of gravity. But as a starting point, we use our camera plate. Now this camera plate is labelled A through to O with a number of different holes depending on what camera you're using on the Merlin 2. For all bar, I'd say almost most DSLRs, the best starting point is to take the plate facing you and place that over O. That's because you want the centre of gravity to be as close as possible to the H. Now the way you measure centre of gravity is to just have a feel of the camera and have an imaginary point, if you were to balance the camera on that, where it would balance perfectly. Again, just as a guide. But on this, I'd place this in the O position and attach the screw in that hole. This is the first thing you need to do before attaching it to the Merlin itself. So now we've mounted our plate onto the D800, I'm now going to grab the stage and apply the camera plate to the stage. The thing to start with here is place your centre of gravity just slightly behind the gimbal. Now, obviously at the moment it's very, very top heavy, and what we want to be doing is bringing enough counterweight onto the arc here so that it brings it upright. Now I've worked out with this camera we need the start weight and 3 mid-weights because the D800 is actually quite a heavy camera. The next weight you want to put on is a nose weight. Now in most cases, a single nose weight, a start weight will do the job. If you didn't put a nose weight on, you can see what's happening. The weight's just countering. The nose weight will actually bring that down to this position here. So, using a nose weight, we've now brought the camera into a better position. Now, actually that's not bad at all. Just use the trim to tilt down. As you can see, the camera at the minute is tilting up. So we want to tilt down. So quarter turn on the tilt control here, on the trim function. There you go, quarter turn's almost done it. Another quarter turn, I think. And there we are. That's looking pretty good. So what we do to test this is we go forward and back and then side to side. And that's feeling very, very good. The next thing to control is the drop time. 1, 2, it's a little bit fast. So let me see if I can adjust this column here and just bring that down 1 notch. That's improved it just enough, I think. So I'm at a stage where I'm reasonably happy with the balance, but something doesn't quite feel right. As I push it forward, the whole thing seems to be penduluming. Now, if you imagine the line down the middle of the camera, down the post here to the weight, what's happening at the minute is the weight's veering back. So what I can consider doing as a solution is making the arc slightly longer to push this weight forward. So let me try a half turn, not enough, and another half turn. That's 2 180-degree turns. Oh. The next thing I need to adjust, because I've adjusted the arc, is the trim of the main stage. Tilted up, I want to tilt that down. So the problem I've got now is I've adjusted the arc, which is meaning that the whole camera is facing down a little. So I need to use my trim functions just here to tilt up. 1, 2. And split the difference. there we go. So I've now got into a position where my fore and aft is static, my left and right again is static. So when I do my papal cross, which is a static test, up, down, and then left and right, it's nice and static. And finally, the drop time. Yeah, perfect. So there you go. Very simple solution to balancing the Merlin with the Nikon or the Nikon D800.